back and welcome to a currently reading video. This is what I'm reading right now, which tends to change a lot because at the moment my reading is pretty much in a shambles. I do have a few things on my to be read pile, and I also have physical books and audiobooks, so I have a range, or at least a small range of things to choose from, but that is only making me more confused because I don't necessarily feel like a lot of that stuff. So sometimes I do leave it up to my random number generator to pick a book for me, and that is what I usually choose in my monthly to be read videos. So I will link that playlist below for you to suss it out. Currently though, I'm in the middle of a series and it's a reread for me, and it's one I'm really enjoying obviously, and that is The Burning Maze. So this is the third book in the Trials of Apollo series. So even though I have this physically, I borrowed the audiobook from my library, so I've got 20 days left on the library hold. I also have Happy Place by Emily Henry that is currently also out from my library, and I have listened to 7% of that book, so a whopping amount, I know, and this is a second chance romance and I did not know that. So it looks like it follows this woman who has these really close best friends, but because of their schedules and where they live, they haven't had a chance to catch up for a while, and so they're finally all in one place again, and it's called their Happy Place. So it's one of the friends whose family is quite wealthy. It's one of their homes and they treat it like a holiday home, and they've got all their memories there of growing up, so it's a really special place. When our main character arrives though, she is surprised by her fiance, who happens to be her ex-fiance, but nobody in the group knows yet. And he's there because the group invited him as a surprise to her, because this is the last year that they're going to have access to the house, because in a month's time it's going to be sold, and that is completely out of their control. So it's kind of their last hurrah. It's also the announcement of an engagement and then a wedding in 6 days' time for two of the best friends. So they're basing their relationship and their excitement on how the main character's engagement and relationship has worked out. So they're like, great, we're both stuck here together for 6 days and we have to pretend like we know what is going on in each other's lives. And I think it's been like 2 years since they've actually had much contact, because their relationship previously was long distance and they've broken up. So I'm assuming it's going to be like a rekindling and re-understanding of each other now that some time has passed. Usually though, I don't like second chance romances just because of that history. I like it when they're starting new and they've only got their own trauma to deal with, not a collective trauma. So we'll see how I feel about continuing this one. I know that some people haven't loved this one as much as Emily Henry's other books, so I'm wondering where it will fall on my scale of enjoying Emily Henry, but there's only one way to find out. So no pressure, those are the two audiobooks I currently have. And then I got a notification from Audible saying, hey, Homegrown is available, and that is a nice, sweet, cozy fantasy story. Beyond that, I don't really know. I read the synopsis a while ago. It's in my anticipated releases video. Beyond that, I don't know much more about it because I like going into cozy fantasy not knowing a whole lot, because the plot generally doesn't go into like an arching height of what a fantasy book would. It tends to stay more localized with the characters and their community and how they are growing interpersonally. So that's really what I'm looking forward to, but I don't think I'm going to put it on my currently reading list quite yet. It's on my radar, so the end of the week might make me change my mind, but I was having a think about it today and I think I'm going to write it down on my list. So when I consult my to be read cart, and that includes the physical books there and also my audiobooks, when I consult the to be read cart for my number generator pick, it will be included in that. So that means that I don't have 3 audiobooks to get through this week. I've got 2, which is still a lot. I also don't have it right here on hand with me, but I'm currently reading Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, which is a middle grade story, and I'm really enjoying that. I've got maybe 50 to 70 pages left, and in my last reading vlog, which I will link for you, I was reading most of that book. So I was reading it in anticipation for the 4th book in the series, because that's coming out at the end of April. So I need to get on train with my reread of those books before the 4th one comes out. So that is what I'm physically reading. That is what my audiobook to be read pile is looking like. Will it change in a few days? Probably, because that is what I'm usually like, but I'll leave it up to future Beck to let you know what happens. So it's the end of the week and I have some of the same books to talk about, but a few wild cards as well. So the good news is I finished Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow, book 1, and I gave this, I want to say a 4 stars. It feels more like a 3.5, only because I think it's a middle grade book, and I was reading this while I had a lot going on, like socially, so that made me feel a bit slowed down by it, but I don't think it was the pace. I think it was just genuinely how exhausted I was from doing different things outside of working full time and trying to push myself to finish a book. So it was an enjoyable read, and and I do plan on continuing the rest of the series, hopefully during April in my April TBR video. Embarrassingly, I did overshoot my understanding of how quickly I could get through audiobooks because I have not started The Burning Maze yet, despite my best intentions. I've still got 15 days left of the library hold. I don't know if I'll be able to extend the library holds. I'll start this if I can, and that leads me to talking about my other audiobook, which is Happy Place by Emily Henry. And this one I'm now 40% into. I've got roughly like 2.5 hours left, and the main characters are Harriet and Win, and I'm enjoying their story so far. I feel like their breakup for their second chance romance, their initial breakup has come from Win being insecure and thinking that Harriet cheated where Harriet didn't cheat, and then there was her blocking his number and a whole bunch of miscommunication. So it really depends on how that all plays out as to what my final rating will be, because again, like I said in my first clip, I don't love second chance romances, and this is kind of why. I think no matter how it ends up, I'm probably going to rate it a little bit down than I normally would with a romance, because they've got this history, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. They've also been apart for 5 months, and now they're obviously back together for this 6-day engagement and wedding of their best friends, and it seems like all of their best friends say that they're close, but then they don't know each other as well as they think. Like, they've got responsibilities going on outside of this 6-day plan, and that is starting to come to light now. So I'm liking that we're seeing a little bit more character depth, a bit of background. I do like the flashbacks in this book much more than in People We Meet on Vacation. I think this really adds to the story, whereas the flashbacks in that book felt distracting from the story. So in that respect, I am liking it more than People We Meet on Vacation, but not quite as much as I enjoyed Beach Read and Funny Story, for example. So it's kind of sitting at my lower rated enjoyment for Emily Henry, but still a decent level. Harriet is also a bit delusional because they are very clearly flirting with each other, and she's like, oh, he doesn't love me. And I'm like, girl, he's clearly head over heels for you. Maybe pull your finger out and work it out. So part of me is just getting a bit annoyed by these characters, but I think that comes with a lot of romances. It's not supposed to be exactly like real life, so I just need to suspend my disbelief and get on with it, because I've only got a little bit left, so I think I can do that in maybe half a week or less. And then the update that I have been waiting to share with you, because I'm doing a reading vlog right now, so you'll see me talk about this a little bit more in my reading vlog, but this book has basically taken over my life. It's been like 2.5 days, and I have read basically 80% of this book. It's just got me trailblazing it, and I'm really having a great time. And it follows Law. She is a necromancer. At the start of the book, she is a poison runner, and one of her jobs goes very wrong, and therefore she is captured, and now she's being used as a spy in court to weed out any conspiracies and any traitors. At the same time, there are villages that are being completely wiped out, so it's her job to resurrect people from the villages and then question them. And using this information, her and the political factions in this world are trying to prevent a war, or so we think. And I'm just really enjoying all of the political shenanigans, all of the characters that we've got in here. It is world building and politics driven, but it's got such a deep characterization as well, and I'm really loving it. There's also such a maturity to it as well, because she is 23 and the two male leads are 24, like they're both 24. So it's really nice to see that Law is actually making informed decisions and not just running on impulsivity. She's actually got a brain between her ears, and it's just so nice to see. There is also flirting and tension and a little bit of a potential for maybe both men and Law to get together, but it's only what I'm reading between the lines. Nothing's actually been confirmed, and I really hope that it's going to be a slow burn, because getting to see all of these characters develop together is what is driving a lot of my enjoyment from this, and they're being influenced outwardly by obviously the politics, the situation, and the world building, and I'm loving everything about this. So this is probably going to be a 4, a 4.5, depending on the ending, maybe a 5. Am I considering going out and buying the sequel? Yes. So I'm having a great time with this, and like I said, it really took over my reading and I have no regrets. And then lastly, before I wrap this video up, I realized that I think yesterday was when Sunrise on the Reaping, which is the new Haymitch book in the Hunger Games series, it's a prequel to the Hunger Games, that book came out and I have it on library hold. It's 14 weeks wait for the audiobook, so just another audiobook to add to my to be read pile because clearly that area of my reading is flourishing. But anyway, that is for future me to read and hopefully enjoy. But that is it. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll come chat to you down below in the comments. Let me know what you're currently reading. But thank you again so much for watching. I'll talk to you below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.